Here's the issue. Wartime.
War is in the air. Tell them to prepare.
So Russia has invaded Ukraine, which has sparked global outrage and fears among people worldwide. Here's the Caribbean version. And remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube or check out the podcast on Spotify and all the other podcast platforms. Well, how I see it, a country full of white people, that's Russia, invaded a different country full of white people, that's Ukraine, that used to be the same country that's back in the Soviet Union, and now a different union of countries also run by white people, that's Europe and the US, have a problem with it, so they've implemented sanctions, which are basically trading bans and money restrictions that will have global ramifications. That means our countries that are full of black people, due to no fault or reason of our own, will soon have to pay more for everything, and we might have to stop buying Smirnoff and Grey Goose vodka.
Where's the rum gone?
And when I say everything, that's food, gas, current, rum, at minimum. And if businesses want to get ignorant, they might even raise the price of everything else, because how is anyone going to prove that they weren't affected by the raises to tell them that they can't?
Them raise everything from aisle to grave knee. Then how them no raise up everybody?
Now, before anyone tries to say whichever country should or shouldn't do whatever, because apparently half the planet have become experts in foreign policy, unless you're from the Caribbean and you're in Russia or Ukraine, or you're related to somebody currently over there, let's just remember a few things.
Start it if you want start it.
Number one, half of us couldn't point out Ukraine on the world map if you saw it before this. In fact, the most I knew was that you had Russia somewhere there in the east, and Ukraine was one of the countries nearby, and I could have never tell you which one. Number two, Russia and Ukraine are countries that are culturally distinct from us in the Caribbean, with their own set of ongoing issues stemming for the last 30 years, back when the Soviet Union dissolved, and God knows whatever was happening during the Cold War. They think differently and have lived differently from us. So let's not try and pretend like we know or understand fully what's going on over there. Number three, if any of you listening didn't take people that you didn't know dying off suddenly as something serious over the last couple of years, or if you see people struggling to survive here and then you just turn a blind eye, but you're keeping Ukraine in your quote-unquote thoughts or whatever, then spare the sympathy and just keep your hypocrisy to yourself.
Spare the sympathy.
As far as I've heard before, and I say heard because I personally have never been over there, neither of those countries involved care much for black people.
All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. I'm tired of being the victim of fate. You're giving me up my pride, for God's sake.
And number five, don't let all your news information come from Western media sources, especially US media, because they are known for misrepresenting what's actually happening, especially with anything related to war. Remember, Russia, the US, and Europe historically love to use propaganda. Now, for me personally, there's no such thing as a war that can make me feel happy or feel good. Yet still, I've become too desensitized to death over the last few years. I'm too far removed from the plights of Ukraine to be able to look at this and say that I feel it for them.
And dog ain't half like me. Me do me thing, I no business. No matter how me did give me, don't touch the student.
I also know that the problems abroad don't mean zero problems at home. In Jamaica, for example, our bauxite factories are Russian owned.
Who won the war from the airport, the docks and the beer?
So that's just one of the ways that we're going to end up feeling it here. For me, I'm concerned about the what next. Is China going to take this as a chance to start something in Taiwan? I have friends in Taiwan and I know they're concerned about that. In fact, comment below if you want me to do an episode on the history of Taiwan and China and the Caribbean and what that all mean, or what they all mean to each other. Next thing, is this a precursor to World War III? A next global event during a pandemic?
This world shall know pain.
Or how about the fact that our dollar has been squeezed pretty much to its limit already?
Everything except dead people are real. The dead man are same better off in the grave. How you feel safe for minimum?
Is there a plan if World War III actually starts? What about Carnival or Crop Over? Are those going to happen still?
Economy could fall down. We on it still. No, we don't business.
Next thing, like how these countries that I mentioned earlier are gonna stop buying oil from Russia as part of their sanctions. So where are they gonna get theirs from? I know US gets most of their oil from, I think, Canada and maybe Ecuador, them places. But are they gonna start buying it from Venezuela and Guyana and those other South American countries? Or are other countries gonna say that too many of the people there are being quote unquote oppressed and they need to bring them some freedom? In case you didn't know, a big part of why Venezuela went into turmoil is that their economy is heavily dependent on the sale of oil. And once the price of oil dropped, their economy pretty much fell apart. That led to rises in crime and poverty. Because of those rises, now millions of people in Venezuela fled to other countries like Guyana and Trinidad and the rest of South America. So if the price starts going back up, assuming that they have some competent leaders, does that mean Venezuela has a chance to begin repairing the economy? Could this be the start of repatriation for displaced Venezuelans? Are we going to bring them back home? Are we going to send them home? Do they want to go home? What about a place like Guyana that's now part of the oil business? Is this a sign that things are going to change for them? Remember, there are no visa requirements for CARICOM members to travel to other CARICOM countries. Is this the start of something? Yes, people, in case you forget, you can get up tomorrow, buy a ticket to Guyana and go visit. I don't think you can work though, but you can't work, can't vote, but you can go check it out, go find a wife, try something.
Now Jaja bless me with the opportunity to fly country to country. Now I could drink champagne when I thirst. Now I could see only thing I never see.
Now people, I'm no economist or foreign affairs expert. Go fact check me, do your own research and let me know what you think. Most I can tell you right now is, gentlemen, ladies, find a way to plan, stock up like storm or come, go farm yam and banana, probably raise some chicken and goat and hog. Or men, if you can't manage that, go look for like some well-off farmer with a nice daughter and try convince her to love you so you don't starve. And ladies, you might gonna have to go check a farmer, man.
And them say slow money better than no money. But me love when the money come in fast.